What's up, world? Welcome to the Positive Truth, uplifting and positive news for a more progressive society. Tim, what are we trying to bring?
Here at the Positive Truth, we're trying to bring awareness, empowerment, inspiration, optimism, and understanding to communities everywhere.
I'm JP. This is Tim.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Positive Truth. It's another inspirational Monday. So shout out to everyone watching us on Facebook and or YouTube. Make sure to go check out this audio-visual episode where you can see Tim's pretty face.
Or JP's buff self.
I know what he's talking about. Only 190. We got two awesome stories today about civil servants doing awesome things in their communities. Before we get to that, make sure to like, share, subscribe, rate, and review. Helps us out so much. Helps us spread this message of positivity that we're trying to share. 5-star reviews only. Also follow us on our social media pages where we post our positive news stories that we do every Wednesday and Friday. 6 positive news stories, not just like the 2 we do today. So let's get this Monday started off right for you. Give you some inspiration. And Tim, you have an awesome story about an awesome teacher, right?
I do. So Miss Karen Lowe, she has been teaching the 7th and 8th grade for the last 22 years here in Oklahoma, right? 22 years is an incredible amount of time. But she said her most recent day, the 6th day of school, was the most impactful day she's ever had as a teacher. So she came across this game called the baggage activity, right? And the baggage activity is a game where you get to write down any emotional baggage that you're going through, put it in this bag. Everybody in the class does it, and then one kid will read something without anybody's name on it, of course, read it out loud. And if the person wanted to say who it was, they can say, yeah, that was my letter. If not, just keep it pushing. She started off this game by saying, look, I'm going to be honest, and I'll write some emotional baggage down. You guys can write something goofy down if you like, or you can be honest as well. Myself, I would have wrote something goofy down in high school personally.
Me too.
Exactly. I ain't trying to let y'all know me at all. But so 7th and 8th graders, they decided to do this, and I'm going to read to you what she said next because I just was touched by it, man. I'm telling you. Even Edna teared up. It was awesome. So she said, I'm here to tell you I've never been so moved to tears as what these kids opened up and shared with the class. I probably read that wrong, but it's okay. Things like suicide, parents in prison, drugs in their family, being left by their parents, death, cancer, losing pets, and on and on. The kid who read the papers would cry because what they were reading was so tough. The person who shared, if they chose to tell us it was them, would cry sometimes too. It was an emotional, draining day, but I firmly believe my kids will judge a little less, love a little more, and forgive a little faster. I thought it was awesome in itself, but the story gets better. So she shared this on social media. Gets shared over 500,000 times. She has teachers from all over the world telling her how they do similar exercises like that in their classroom, telling her how great of a job she's doing and keep playing that game. Some of the other teachers are even saying they're going to do it for the first time. When I was in high school, I do remember playing a game similar to this, and I remember how close it brought that class. And I do remember that being my favorite class in high school, leadership, student council. We had 1 hour a day where we all got to get together where you had freshmen to seniors, and we're out here doing stuff in the school, painting signs, whatever we got to do. And all of a sudden we played this game one day, and you got the cheerleading captain and the basketball captain crying in the same room. So it just brought me back to I remember something like this. So I keep reading the article, and now she says, after this story's been shared, she was talking about her kids. She says they don't interrupt or talk down to each other. They're not rude. It's completely changed how they treat each other. I wish I would have done this years ago. It has been so good. And I do remember, again, back when I was in high school, how much that changed our class. It went from being just another class I was in to literally probably my favorite class I've ever taken in my entire life. So I know what she did for these 7th and 8th graders. She gave them a place where they can just communicate to another person about what they're going through and not feel judged.
So what happened whenever it happened in your class? What do you remember?
I remember creating really good friends.
What do you remember what was shared?
Oh man, for example, there was one girl who said, I do not have electricity at my house. It gets cut off at least once a month because my mom can't pay for it. As a kid, I remember going through it every now and then. It didn't happen very often, maybe twice. And the fact that this girl that I had no clue went through anything like that, because she always had nice clothes and stuff like that, but it was all a front. So it made me think, no matter how these kids are walking around this building, no matter how tough they look, they're always going through something. And for these kids, they might be going through different issues, a different part of town. So whatever the case may be, other people can relate to. And now these kids are treating each other with respect because they now know we all have a story. It's awesome to me, man. I wish like a whole school could play this with each other, but there's always gonna be those kids like us in middle school saying,
Jokes.
man, I'm terrified of spiders, and I thought I saw one while I was sleeping, like something like that. But in all reality, I just thought it was dope that the teacher gave her students a safe place to talk about their emotions, because we all know there's not enough safe places in this world for us to talk about our emotions.
And there should be more safe places.
Exactly. Shout out to teachers, by the way, man. They're still awesome.
2018 Positive Truth People of the Year.
Tu sabes.
So yeah, that was awesome, Tim Tim. I got a story about a civil servant too.
Ooh, I like this. What do you got for us today, JP?
Have you ever heard of Nampa, Idaho?
Why have I heard of Napa, Idaho? There's a reason. Is there like
Nampa?
Nampa?
I just thought it was a good pun with Tampa, Florida. I just want to start off with a pun. I'm just gonna be honest, because I like puns.
That went right over my head, man. The Zoom.
Anyway, back to the Inspirational Monday. This is a good thing this is not a joke podcast.
Oh man, we failed.
But I failed. So I have a story about a Nampa resident and a police officer. The officer's name is Heath Otto. And he met...
10 out of 10 name.
True, 10 out of 10 name. And the lady's name is Aria Howe. And whenever he first got on the job, he went to go get a sandwich at Subway, and he met her. It's like one of his first days. They were talking, it's real nice. And then he would go there occasionally, and he saw her life just crumbling. She was addicted to like hard drugs. She was doing everything she could see. And one day he went in there and he was like, "Don't you have a daughter?" And she was like, "Yeah." So he just kept talking to her. He could realize things were getting worse and worse. And so he called another officer, went to go check on the daughter, pick up the daughter. He went up to her and he was like, "You need help." And so she was like, "I really appreciated that he was treating me like a human and not a criminal, showing care and empathy." So he talked to her, told her daughter's safe. I made sure of that. I got another officer, called a mental health center, and she underwent 40 days of treatment at a recovery hospital. And she said it lit a fire under her, and she hasn't touched a hard drug in 3 years. She's like, "I've done caffeine, but that's it."
Wow, that's awesome.
But she had never seen him since. So she called the local news station, was like, "I need to meet, I need to see him again. I don't have any money to give, but I need to tell him I really appreciate how you treated me." So she called the police department, called the local news. She didn't have anything. She gave him 2 sunflowers, but she was like, "I haven't touched a hard drug in 3 years. It's because of you, because of how you treated me." And Otto said the Napa police chief, Joe Huff, said, "We try to do community policing to help the community, not just treat everyone like criminals," which I think is absolutely awesome. And so he was just like, for her to be able to break the cycle and be able to willing and working for a program and realize that and lead a different life for her daughter and herself is just absolutely awesome. That's what we're trying to do here. I just think it's a great story altogether. Inspiration that she can get through that. Great community policing by the police officer. And another civil servant story.
Dude, I love that story, man. I just love it because it's like there's so many civil servants out there that just get underappreciated. But there's so many that are doing simple jobs like that you're hearing today where it's not necessarily simple, it just takes time. He took the time, that fly, man. I'm swinging at JP and stuff. This fly over here is going crazy. But he just took the time to have a simple conversation and was politely honest with this woman. And she changed her whole entire life around. He probably didn't think too much about it. Maybe thought about it when he went home because, of course, he has a heart. But at the end of the day, like, he changed her life around in 3 years and is doing so much better because he had a conversation with her and treated her like a human being. So shout out to him, man. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Heath Otto, right?
Yep.
I love that name, man. I'm not going to lie.
Also, this is why taxes should go to mental health facilities. Preventative care before things get too bad so people can change their life and not end up in jail.
Let the world know, JP.
Save some tax money.
Tu sabes. Isn't that what America's about? Saving tax money, right? Touchy subject.
Edit that out, Jojo. Anyway, let's get back to positivity.
Tu sabes.
Can I have a quote by Tim?
Yes, you can. The first step is you have to say that you can.
Who's that quote from?
Tim McCoy. Will Smith is going to come back and he's going to be like, "Yo, I want my credit." That's what's going to happen.
Will Smith will be alright.
Facts.
We'll be back on Wednesday with 6 positive news stories. Again, appreciate everyone watching this on Facebook and or YouTube. Until next time, we're out.
Stay positive. Team Fly.